I never thought silence could kill. But that night at 11:58 p.m., the air inside my twins' nursery stopped moving, and when it started again, they weren't breathing. The woman who signed the inspection order, the same woman who'd threatened us for weeks over noise violations, was the president of our HOA. Her name was Marjorie Vance, and she called it community harmony. The judge later called it voluntary manslaughter. My name's Ethan Rohr. I design airflow systems for desert housing HVAC compliance acoustic control. Irony, right? I built half the homes in Stonefield Oaks, including my own. When my wife Mara and I moved in, we thought we were buying peace. 2 identical houses down from the model home, 1 small nursery painted blue, a quiet place for our premature twins to grow strong. But peace in this neighborhood came with rules. Too many. Marjorie introduced herself the day we moved in, clipboard in hand, that tight HOA smile stretching across her face like plastic. "Welcome to Stonefield Oaks, Mr. Rohr. We value order here." She pointed at my car, dusty from the road. "Please wash within 24 hours. Our guidelines require it." I laughed, then thought she was joking. She wasn't. It started small. A warning for excessive front yard decoration when I planted 3 rose bushes. Then another letter for improperly stored trash bins. I paid the fines just to keep things simple. But when our twins came home from the hospital and their cries echoed through the thin walls, everything changed. One afternoon I was unbuckling the car seat when she appeared again, blocking the driveway with her SUV. "If your twins can't stop that racket," she said, "I'll have to issue an emergency disturbance citation." I froze, thinking I'd misheard. "They're infants," I said. "They're learning to breathe." She smiled, small, cruel. "Some of us value peace around here. Maybe you shouldn't have brought them home." That was the moment something in me shifted. I'd built this place. The vents, the ducts, the quiet, she worshipped it all came from my blueprints, and she was using it to suffocate us. Within weeks, my inbox filled with violation notices. Noise pollution, Section 14B. Community disruption. Final warning. I printed them all, pinned them above my desk like autopsy photos. The timestamps matched the nights the baby's oxygen monitors beeped. She wasn't enforcing rules, she was watching us. I wanted to fight, but Mara begged me not to. "We can't make enemies here," she whispered, rocking one twin while the other slept. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling. "Let's just try to stay quiet." So I tried, for a while. Then one morning I found a warning taped directly over the nursery window. I tore it down, shaking. That's when I realized it wasn't about sound, it was about control. Marjorie didn't want peace, she wanted obedience. I started collecting data, decibel readings, timestamps, copies of her emails. I knew every law she was twisting, every code she was faking. But she had something I didn't fear. People feared her. Neighbors avoided eye contact. They whispered when I passed. One evening, an older man watering his succulents leaned close and said, "You're not the only one she's bled dry. Watch your back." Then he looked up at a camera on her porch and walked away. By then, she'd fined me over $4,000, froze my HOA account, locked me out of community access. She was building a digital cage around us. That's when I met Dennis Lee, the maintenance tech. He'd been with the HOA since the start, quiet, hunched, always carrying too many tools. I cornered him behind the clubhouse one morning. "She's using the HVAC network to monitor houses, isn't she?" I asked. His eyes flicked toward a camera in the corner, then down. "I just follow work orders, man. Don't make this harder than it already is." "Dennis," I said, keeping my voice low, "you hear what she's doing? The fines, the threats. She's not keeping order, she's weaponizing it." He hesitated, then whispered, "Last month, she made me install secondary lock overrides on certain units. Said it was for emergencies. She kept all the keys." My stomach turned. "That violates safety code." He nodded once. "I didn't sign up for this." That was the first crack in her fortress. Fear doesn't last forever, it fractures. 2 days later, I got a red envelope on my doorstep. Mandatory sound compliance inspection. Failure to comply will result in property reassessment. Her signature at the bottom like a taunt. Mara begged me to call a lawyer, but Marjorie lived in paperwork. She'd drown us in it. I needed something she couldn't control: city oversight. I sent everything to the Municipal Building Safety Division, logs, notices, timestamps. By morning, I got a reply, under review for potential safety code breach. That same afternoon, Dennis called me, voice shaking. You need to get home. She's moving the inspection up. Today. I dropped everything. The desert sun blurred the road as I sped back. When I turned onto my street, her SUV was already in my driveway. 2 board members stood behind her, clipboards in hand, my front door unlocked. "Stop," I shouted. Marjorie turned unbothered. "You're interrupting a lawful inspection, Mr. Rohr. You entered without consent. Failure to respond counts as approval," she said calmly. "There is no emergency clause," I snapped. She smiled. "Then report me." So I did. Right then. I called the city inspector Ruiz, the same man who'd replied to my email. "She's inside my house," I said. "Unauthorized entry." He told me to stay outside. He'd send a field agent. When Ruiz arrived 20 minutes later, the sun was brutal, the air thick. He flashed his badge and went in. I watched from the curb, heart pounding. A minute later, he escorted her out, Marjorie Vance, queen of silence, pale as chalk. "You used an unregistered override key," he told her. "That's a municipal offense." She didn't speak. She just stared at me, clipboard shaking in her hand. For the first time, she looked small. But she wasn't done. People like her never surrender. That night, Dennis texted me. "She's deleting the logs." I logged into the HOA server, fingers flying across the keyboard. She was wiping evidence one file at a time. I launched a counterscript rerouting the data to my local drive. The screen froze, flickered, then backup complete. She'd failed. I sat there, heart hammering, watching the baby monitor's red light blink in the dark. The same monitor that recorded her crime. The same silence that killed. The next morning, local news ran the headline, "City investigates HOA abuse of authority." No names yet, but everyone in Stonefield Oaks knew. That evening, Cheryl, one of the board members, knocked on my door. "She's calling an emergency meeting tonight," she whispered. "Says she'll clear her name." "Good," I said. "I'll bring proof." The clubhouse was full, neighbors, reporters, even Ruiz with 2 city officials. Marjorie stood at the front, smiling like a politician who didn't know the cameras were already rolling. "There's been a lot of misinformation," she began. "False claims meant to damage this community's integrity." "Funny thing about misinformation," I said, walking forward, "it doesn't survive verification." I plugged in the drive. The projector hummed, the wall filled with digital light, timestamps, network logs, airflow charts. Then the baby monitor footage, a shadow entering the nursery at 11:58, the sound cutting out. Silence. Gasps rippled through the room. "That's fabricated," she shouted. Ruiz stepped forward. "It's been authenticated." Dennis stood, voice trembling. "She ordered me to open the vents that night." I didn't know what she'd do. Neighbors turned, murmuring. Phones lifted. Marjorie's voice cracked. "I did what was necessary. They wouldn't stop crying, and you silenced them," I said quietly. The judge's gavel wasn't there, but Ruiz's words hit the same. "Mrs. Vance, you're under municipal investigation for unauthorized entry and endangerment." Her clipboard hit the floor papers, scattering like feathers. The system she built to control us had finally turned on her. By dawn, yellow tape lined the HOA office. The sign that once read, "Stonefield Oaks, a community built on harmony," hung crooked, one nail loose. Neighbors whispered, uncertain, free. I walked the empty street past the manicured lawns and perfect stucco walls. Everything looked the same, but the air felt different, lighter, alive. The silence that used to smother us was gone. Marjorie's arrest hit the news that afternoon. HOA president charged in infant death case. I watched it once, then turned off the TV. There was no victory in it, only truth. Sometimes justice doesn't roar, it exhales. And when it does, you realize the most dangerous kind of silence isn't what surrounds you. It's what you let control you.